look at that rain.
Oh, it's coming down in absolute buckets.
Dad, let Thomas do that one.
Thomas, come and give your granddad a hand, then. Come on.
Tomorrow's Christmas.
We can't always have a white Christmas, Thomas. You should be used to that.
It shouldn't rain.
Oh, it doesn't snow like it used to. But then it isn't Christmas yet, is it?
What?
Well, it's only Christmas Eve.
Do you mean it's going to snow tomorrow?
I don't know. It might.
Grandad said it's going to snow tomorrow.
He didn't say that, Thomas. Dad.
Here we go, then. There, isn't it? So isn't it time that Thomas opened his Christmas Eve present, then?
Yeah.
So, what should it be, then?
That's that lovely knit cap.
No, can't.
What about that package from Uncle Di in America?
Oh, he always sends socks, doesn't he? Scratchy woolen socks, lovely.
But you can't play with socks.
Well, I think socks is a very good present.
It's a rule. The Christmas Eve present has to be a toy or a book or something good.
Yes. Ah, Dolly Chloe.
Yeah,
So is it time now, then?
Yes, please.
Here you are. Happy Christmas, Thomas.
Merry Christmas Eve, Thomas.
Happy Christmas, Boyle.
What's that, I wonder?
Don't know.
Come on, then, open it.
These little socks.
You sure?
You like it, then?
It's lovely, Grandad.
There's a good boy.
Lucky David John gave you that, didn't he?
A long time ago.
Before I was born.
Oh, yes. Oh, I was born nearly.
Grandad, did it snow Christmas when you were a boy?
Oh, yes, Thomas. It snowed. One Christmas was so much like another in those years around the sea town corner, now and out of all sound, except the distant speaking of the voices I sometimes hear a moment before sleep, that I can never remember whether it snowed for 6 days and 6 nights when I was 12, or whether it snowed for 12 days and 12 nights when I was 6. All the Christmases roll down towards the Welsh-speaking sea, like a snowball growing whiter and bigger and rounder, like a cold and headlong moon bundling down the sky that was our street. And they stop at the rim of the ice-edged, fish-freezing waves, and I plunge my hands in the snow and bring out whatever I can find. Holly or robins or pudding, squabbles and carols and oranges and tin whistles and fire in the front room and bang go the crackers and holy, holy, holy ring the bells. In goes my hand into that wool-white, bell-tongued ball of holidays, resting at the rim of the carol-singing sea. And out comes Mrs. Prothero and the firemen. It was on the afternoon of Christmas Eve, and I was in Mrs. Prothero's garden, waiting for cats with her son Jim. It was snowing. It was always snowing at Christmas. December, in my memory, is white as Lapland, although there were no reindeers. But there were cats Patient, cold, and callous. Our hands wrapped in socks, we waited to snowball. The cats. Sleek and long as jaguars and horrible whiskered, spitting and snarling, they would slink and sidle over the white back garden walls. And the lynx-eyed hunters, Jim and I, fur-capped and moccasin trappers from Hudson Bay off Mumbles Road, would hurl our deadly snowballs at the green of their eyes. The wise cats never appeared. We were so still, Eskimo-footed Arctic marksmen in the muffling silence of the eternal snows. Eternal ever since Wednesday, that we never heard Mrs. Prothero's first cry from her igloo at the bottom of the garden. Or if we heard it at all, it was to us like the far-off challenge of our enemy and prey, the neighbor's polar cat. But soon the voice grew louder. We ran down the garden with the snowballs in our arms toward the house, and smoke indeed was pouring out of the parlor, and the gong was bombilating, and Mrs. Prothero was announcing ruin like a town crier in Pompeii. This was better than all the cats in Wales standing on a wall in a row. We bounded into the house, laden with snowballs, and stopped at the door of the smoke-filled room. Something was burning all right, but there was no fire to be seen. Only clouds of smoke, and Mr. Prothero standing in the middle of them, waving his slipper as if he were conducting.
Fine Christmas.
Call the fire brigade.
Oh, they won't be there. It's Christmas. We'll do something.
We threw our snowballs into the smoke. I think we missed Mr. Prothero, and ran out of the house to the telephone box.
Let's call the police as well. And the ambulance. And Ernie Jenkins. He likes fires.
But we only called the fire brigade. And soon the fire engine came, and 3 tall men in helmets brought a hose into the house. Mr. Prothero got out just in time before they turned it on. Nobody could have had a noisier Christmas Eve.
Seen one like that before.
Oh, I wonder what caused that then. Oh. Well, we'll be on our way then, sir.
When the fireman turned off the hose and was standing in the wet, smoky room, Jim's aunt, Miss Prothero, came downstairs and peered in at them. She looked at the 3 tall firemen in their shining helmets standing among the smoke and cinders and dissolving snowballs. Jim and I waited very quietly to hear what she would say to them. She said the right thing, always.
Would you like anything to read?
What did she say? Eat.
Years and years ago, when I was a boy, There were wolves in Wales. And birds, the colour of red flannel petticoats, whisked past the harp-shaped hills. When we sang and wallowed all night and day in caves that smelt like Sunday afternoons in damp front farmhouse parlours. And we chased with the jawbones of deacons, the English and the bears. Before the motor car, before the wheel, before the Duchess-faced horse, when we rode the daft and happy hills bareback, it snowed and it snowed.
It snowed last year too. I made a snowman. My friend knocked it down, so I knocked him down. And then we had tea.
But it was not the same as snow. Our snow was not only shaken from whitewash buckets down the sky, it came shoaling out of the ground and swam and drifted out of the arms and bodies of the trees. Snow grew overnight on the roofs of houses like a pure and grandfather moss. Minutely white-ivied the walls and settled on the postman opening the gate like a dumb, numb thunderstorm of white-torn Christmas cards.
Were there postmen then too?
With sprinkling eyes and wind-cherried noses on spread frozen feet, they crunched up to the doors and mittened on them manfully. But all the children could hear was the ringing of bells.
You mean the postman went rat-a-tat-tat and the doors rang?
I mean that the bells the children could hear were inside them.
I only hear thunder sometimes, never bells.
There were church bells, too.
Inside them?
No, no, no. In the bat-black, snow-white belfries tugged by bishops and storks. And they rang their tidings over the bandaged town, over the frozen foam of the powder and ice cream hills, over the crackling sea. It seemed that all the churches boomed for joy under my window, and the weathercocks crew for Christmas on our fence.
Get back to the postman.
Get away, will you? What are you doing?
Oh, well, they were just ordinary postmen, fond of walking and dogs and Christmas and the snow. They knocked on the door with blue knuckles. And then they stood on the white welcome mat in the little drifted porches and huffed and puffed, making ghosts of their breath, and jogged from foot to foot like small boys wanting to go out. And then the presents, after the Christmas box.
Oh, thank you. Come here. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Have a nice Christmas.
Happy Christmas.
And the cold postman, with a rose on his button nose, tingled down the tea tray slithered run of the chilly, glinting hill. He went in his ice-bound boots like a man on fishmonger's slabs. He wagged his bag like a frozen camel's hump, dizzily turned the corner on one foot, and by God, he was gone.
Where did he go?
Oh, he went to deliver letters and presents to other families.
But Father Christmas brings the presents, doesn't he?
He does, boy, but the postman brings presents from people who live far away, like Uncle Di.
Will Father Christmas be able to get you in such heavy rain?
Of course, boy. Why do you think he uses reindeer?
I'm not going to sleep tonight.
Aren't you now?
I'll go to your bed, but I'm staying awake until Father Christmas comes so I can see him.
I used to try that.
Did you ever see him?
No, I never did. But on Christmas Eve, milk and biscuits waiting by the fire, I would hang at the foot of my bed Bessie Bunter's black stocking. And always, I said, I would stay awake all the moonlit night to hear the roof alighting reindeer and see the hollowed boot descend through soot. But soon the sand of the snow drifted into my eyes. And though I stared toward the fireplace and around the flickering room where the black sack-like stocking hung, I was asleep before the chimney trembled and the room was red and white with Christmas. Then, in the morning, though no snow melted on the bedroom floor, the stocking bulged and brimmed. It was Christmas.
Bedtime, Thomas.
Not yet.
Now, straight up, no messing.
It's Christmas.
Don't I know it? You don't want to be sleeping through it, do you, with all your aunties and uncles here?
Katie, do you know where that photo is?
What photo?
You know, the one of me all dressed up.
Oh, Dad, I'm trying to get the boy to bed.
No, just a minute, I know it's here.
Oh, you're hopeless.
Oh, okay. Now. Oh, here we are then.
That's you.
Oh, I'd forgotten how. Oh, Maureen. Look, Katie.
Silly.
Look.
Now, these were the youthful presents, engulfing mufflers of the old coach days, and mittens made for giant sloths, zebra scarves of a substance like silky gum that could be tug-of-war down to the galoshes, blinding tam-o'-shanters like patchwork tea cozies, and bunny-suited busbies and balaclavas for victims of head-shrinking tribes. From aunts who always wore wool next to the skin, there were moustached and rasping vests that made you wonder why the aunts had any skin left at all. And once, I had a little crocheted nose bag from an aunt, alas, no longer whinnying with us. And pictureless books, in which small boys, though warned with quotations not to, would skate on Farmer Giles's pond, and did, and drowned. And books that told me everything about the wasp, except why.
Go on to the useless presents.
Oh, yes, the useless presents.
Are you going to send me some tickets?
You are?
Well, there were bags of moist and many-colored jelly babies, and a folded flag, and a false nose, and a tram conductor's cap, and a machine that punched tickets and rang a bell.
Yes, please. We're going to Aberystwyth.
Never a catapult.
No.
Once, by mistake that no one could explain, a little hatchet. Oh, and a celluloid duck that made, when you pressed it, a most unduck-like sound. A mewing moo that an ambitious cat might make who wished to be a cow. And a painting book in which I could make the grass, the trees, the sea, and the animals any color I pleased. And still the dazzling sky-blue sheep are grazing in the red field under the rainbow-billed and pea-green birds. We had hard boils, toffee, fudge, and all sorts, crunchies, cracknels, humbugs, glaciers, marzipan, and butterwelsh for the Welsh. There was a company, gallant and scarlet, but never nice to taste, though I always tried when very young, of belted and busbid and musketed-led soldiers, so soon to lose their heads and legs in the wars. Troops who, if they could not fight, could always run. Then there were snakes and families and happy ladders and easy hobby games for little engineers, complete with instructions. Easy. Oh, easy for Leonardo.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, you want something, do you? Here you are.
Still drinking, I see.
Oh, don't you worry, Auntie. It's Christmas Day. Let's have a happy time. Cheers.
And a whistle to make the dogs bark, to wake up the old man next door, to make him beat on the wall with his stick, to shake our picture off the wall.
Be quiet.
That dog.
Now you there, mumbles. Stop it. Quiet down, you stupid.
What are you carrying on for?
Will you stop it? Hey. Geraint.
You little scamp, you.
Out.
And then it was breakfast under the balloons.
With uncles like in our house.
There are always uncles at Christmas. The same uncles.
Would you like some tea, Auntie? Oh, no, thank you, dear.
Oh, what a trick to play. You should know better. Both of you acting like children.
It was him.
Him.
Auntie Bessie played Pop Goes the Weasel and Nuts in May and Oranges and Lemons on the untuned piano in the parlor, all through the thimble-hiding, musical chairing, blind man's bluffing party on the never-to-be-forgotten day at the end of the unremembered year. And on Christmas mornings, I would go out with my packet of cigarettes. You put one in your mouth, and you stood at the corner of the street, and you waited for hours in vain for an old lady to scold you for smoking a cigarette. And then, with a smirk, you ate it. Then, with dog-disturbing whistles and sugar fags, I would scour the swatched town for news of the little world, and find always a dead bird by the white post office or by the deserted swings. Perhaps a robin, all but one of its fires out, and that fire still burning on his breast. Men and women wading or scooping back from chapel with taproom noses and wind-bust cheeks, all albinos, huddled their stiff, black, jarring feathers against the irreligious snow. Mistletoe hung from the gas brackets in all the front parlours. There was sherry and walnuts and bottled beer and crackers by the dessert spoons. And cats in their furabouts watched the fires, and the high-heaped fire spat, all ready for the chestnuts and the mulling pokers. Some few large men sat in the front parlours without their collars, uncles almost certainly, trying their new cigars, holding them out judiciously at arm's length, returning them to their mouths, coughing, then holding them out again as though waiting for an explosion. And some few small aunts, not wanted in the kitchen, nor anywhere else for that matter, sat on the very edges of their chairs, poised and brittle, afraid to break like faded cups and saucers. Not many those mornings trod the piling streets. An old man always, fawn-bowlered, yellow-gloved, and at this time of year with spats of snow would take his constitutional to the white bowling green and back, as he would take it wet or fine on Christmas Day or Doomsday. Sometimes two hale young men with big pipes blazing, no overcoats and wind-blown scarves would trudge unspeaking down to the forlorn sea. To work up an appetite, to blow away the fumes, who knows? To walk into the waves until nothing of them was left but the two curling smoke clouds of their inextinguishable briars. Then I would be slap-dashing home, the gravy smell of the dinners of others, the bird smell, the brandy, the pudding and mince coiling up to my nostrils, when out of a snow-clogged side lane would come a boy, the spit of myself, with a pink-tipped cigarette and the violet past of a black eye, cocky as a bullfinch, leering all to himself. I hated him on sight and sound, and would be just about to put my dog whistle to my lips and blow him off the face of Christmas, when suddenly he, with a violent wink, put his whistle to his lips and blew so stridently, so high, so exquisitely loud, that doubling faces, that cheeks bulged with goose, would press against their tinselled windows the whole length of the white, echoing street.
If at first you don't succeed, give up.
For dinner we had turkey stuffed with walnut dressing, little potatoes, and wine. Always wine. And when that was done, we had blazing pudding. Someone found the silver threepenny bit with a currant on it, and the someone was always Uncle Arnold.
Don't bother, boy. I got the threepenny bit right here. Oh, look. There's a shoe nut. Have you got a shoehorn to open it with, boy?
And after dinner, the uncles sat in front of the fire, loosened all buttons, put their large, moist hands over their watch chains, groaned a little, and slept.
Oh, good.
Nice drop of port.
Thank you, Auntie.
Better in than out.
Mothers, aunts and sisters scuttled to and fro bearing tureens. Auntie Bessie, who had already been frightened twice by a clockwork mouse, whimpered at the sideboard and had some elderberry wine. The dog was sick. Auntie Dozy had to have 3 aspirins. But Auntie Hannah, who liked port, stood in the middle of the snowbound backyard singing like a big-bosomed thrush.
Oh, no. Oh, Hannah. Oh, she's out in the yard. I should have been looking after her.
You may think that she's happy and free from care.
That's my dear. I tried to keep my eye.
Well, you didn't do it, did you?
Well, I've been busy.
I know.
She's sad when you think of her ways, for you cannot meet with age.
She's been drinking the whole day.
Oh, she's tiddly as a newt.
Maybe she won't even notice the cold then.
For an old man's gold. In a gilded
I would blow up balloons to see how big they would blow up too. And when they burst, which they all did, the uncles jumped and rumbled. In the rich and heavy afternoon, the uncles breathing like dolphins and the snow descending, I would sit among festoons and Chinese lanterns and nibble dates and try to make a model man-of-war, following the instructions for little engineers. But instead, I would produce what might be mistaken for a sea-going tram car. And I remembered that on the afternoon of Christmas Day, when the others sat around the fire and told each other that this was nothing, no, nothing to the great snowbound and turkey-proud Yule log-cracking, holly-berry bedizened and kissing under the mistletoe Christmas when they were children, I would go out, my bright new boots squeaking, into the white world, onto the seaward hill, to call on Jim and Dan and Jack, and to pad through the still streets, leaving huge, deep footprints on the hidden pavement.
I bet people will think there's been hippos. What would you do if you saw a hippo coming down the street? I'd go like this, bang. I'd throw him over the railings, I'd roll him down the hill, I'd tickle him on the ear, and he'd wag his tail.
What would you do if you saw 2 hippos?
Look, I mean, snow pie. What's it taste like? Like snow pie.
Iron-flanked and bellowing he-hippos clanked and battered through the scudding snow toward us as we passed Mr. Daniel's house.
What shall we do? Let's post Mr. Daniel a snowball through his letterbox.
Let's write things in the snow. Let's write, Mr. Daniel looks like a spaniel all over his lawn.
Yeah!
And then we walked along the white shore. The silent, one-clouded heavens drifted onto the sea.
Can the fishes see when it's snowing? Don't be daft. They think it's the sky falling down. It's not so daft as Miss Griffiths up the street, who says she puts her ear into the water and listens to the fish talk Welsh.
Now we were snowblind travelers lost on the North Hills. And vast, dew-lapped dogs with flasks round their necks ambled and shambled up to us, baying, "Excelsior!"
Good boy, good boy. Follow Mummies. It'll lead us home.
We returned home through the poor streets, where only a few children fumbled with bare red fingers in the wheel-rutted snow, and Cat called after us. Their voices fading away as we trudged uphill into the cries of the dock birds and the hooting of ships out in the whirling bay. And then, at tea, the recovered uncles would be jolly, and the iced cake loomed in the center of the table like a marble grave. Auntie Hannah laced her tea with rum, because it was only once a year.
It all sounds like an ordinary Christmas to me.
And it was.
Christmas when you were a boy wasn't any different to Christmas now.
Oh, but it was, it was.
Why was Christmas different then?
I mustn't tell you.
Why can't Christmas be the same for me as it was for you when you were a boy?
I mustn't tell you. Because it's Christmas now.
You ought to be in bed, young man.
Grandad was telling me a story.
Well, it's past your bedtime.
Thomas,
He's just about to go up.
where are you going now?
I have to listen to the Father Christmas.
He's so excited.
He'll stay awake all night if you allow him to. It would be nice if it snowed for him, mind.
But it's a big day tomorrow. I think I'll go to bed.
Good night, Dad. Thanks for keeping an eye on him.
Oh, it's no trouble. It's a pleasure. He sits there good as gold while I ramble on. He seems interested, too.
Is that enough for Father Christmas, do you think?
Can I leave more?
Oh, don't worry, Buck. If you want some more, he'll know where to find them.
Hope so, anyway.
Come along, Thomas. I'll tuck you in.
Good night, then, son. Sleep well.
Good night, Harriet.
And, Thomas, remember, not too early, right?
All right. Granddad, is this how the town looked like when you were a boy?
Oh, yeah. It was just the same.
Good night. Don't you dare.
Ho, ho, ho. Would you like to hear more?
Yes, please.
Bring out the tall tales now that we told by the fire as we roasted chestnuts and the gaslight bubbled low. Ghosts with their heads under their arms trailed their chains and said, "Ooh," like owls in the long night when I dare not look over my shoulder. Wild beasts lurked in the cubbyhole under the stairs where the gas meter ticked. I remember we went singing carols once when there wasn't a shaving of a moon to light the flying streets. Oh. At the end of a long road was a drive that led to a large house, and we stumbled up the darkness of the drive that night, each one of us afraid, each one holding a stone in his hand in case, and all of us too brave to say a word. The wind through the trees made noises as of old and unpleasant, and maybe web-footed men wheezing in caves. We reached the black bulk of the house.
What shall we give them? Asked the herald.
Christmas comes but once a year?
No. Go King Wenceslas. I'll count 3. 1, 2, 3. Good King Wenceslas looked out on the feast of Stephen.
And we began to sing, our voices high and seemingly distant in the snow-felted darkness round the house that was occupied by nobody we knew.
Though the frost was cruel,
We stood close together near the dark door. And then a small, dry voice of someone who was not spoken for a long time joined our singing. A small, dry, eggshell voice from the other side of the door.
Beneath the mountain, right against the forest fence,
A small, dry voice through the keyhole.
Thou and I shall see him dine when we bear them thither.
And when we stopped running, we were outside our house.
Perhaps it was a ghost.
Perhaps it was troll.
Dan was always reading.
Let's go in and see if there's any jelly left.
The front room was lovely. Balloons floated under the hot water bottle gulping gas. Everything was good again and shone over the town.
On to Bethlehem town, join the crowd and travel down the road that leads us to the cradle. Come on who are able, come to the stable with hearts full of love as we kneel and pray. Come and see the child with his mother Mary mild. Come along and worship at the cradle. There we'll see the boy, hearts aglow with boundless joy. This the everlasting word. We will bow before him. Come and adore him. Bringing gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. On to Bethlehem town, join the crowd and travel down the road that leads us to the cradle.
Always on Christmas night there was music. An uncle played the fiddle. A cousin sang Cherry Ripe. And another uncle sang Drake's Drum.
Drake, he's in his hammock, and 1,000 miles away. Captain, art thou sleeping there below? Slung atween the round shot in Nombrous Dios Bay, and dreaming all the time of Plymouth Hoe. Yonder looms the island, yonder lie the ships, with sailor lads a-dancing heel and toe. And the shore lights flashing, and the night tide dashing, he sees it all so plainly as he saw it long ago.
It was very warm in the house. Auntie Hannah, who had got onto the parsnip wine, sang a song about bleeding hearts and death, and then another in which she said her heart was like a bird's nest. And then everybody laughed again.
On her beauty so amazing, all transfixed, he stood there gazing. 'Mong the fairest, she seemed rarest, her smile did shed around fresh beauty. She shone an angel to his view. To love her was but duty.
Lovely. Why don't we sing? Why don't we sing all through the night?
I can't go to bed.
Then I went to bed. Looking out through my bedroom window, out into the moonlight and the unending smoke-colored snow, I could see the lights in the windows of all the other houses on our hill and hear the music rising from them up the long, steadily falling night. I turned the gas down. I got into bed. I said some words to the close and holy darkness, and then I slept.